Hello, my name is Hannah Hurdle, and I'm the Library eLearning Specialist at Untitled Library. And today I'm here to talk to you about open educational resources and open access resources, the types of activities you can find through them, as well as the learning opportunities they can provide for students. All these resources are found through OER Commons and Knightlab. To learn more about OER Commons, check out the video, Affordable Learning Content and Open Educational Resources for Student Success on the library's YouTube channel. The video is linked under supplemental content for this week's video. Nightline is an open collaborative environment created by Northwestern University. It is a place for students and professionals to learn from one another. A link to Nightlab's website is available in the supplemental content for this video. The first three activities I'm going to talk about were found through OER Commons and are located on the Zooniverse website. The Zooniverse is the world's largest platform for people-powered research. Through Zooniverse projects, anyone can be a researcher. So I'm currently on the Zooniverse website. You can look at active projects, pause projects, and finished projects. They break it down by discipline, the arts, biology, history, literature, social sciences, physics. So there's a bunch of different options. Go to this drop-down menu. You can look at the most active projects, the ones that need the most help, the most popular, the ones that were launched recently, and then ones that are updated recently. See, and you can also just go through and see the different projects. The first one we're going to look at is Radio Galaxy Zoo LOFAR, which can be used in an astronomy classroom. The LOFAR project offers an unprecedented view of what our skies look like at radio wavelengths. In this project, students can help astronomers locate and identify supermassive black holes and star-forming galaxies. For this project, students can help mark the dashed ellipses and optical counterparts. Students can also help point out mistakes to researchers, including when an image is missing or something's too zoomed in. So this is the project. You can see how much of the project has been completed, so 37%, how many volunteers the project's had, how many classifications have been done, how many subjects are covered in the project, and how many of those have been completed. You also get a little description of the project. Scroll up here, you can access the activity. They have a tutorial, so it walks you through like what the project is, getting to know the interface, what you're going to be looking for or looking at, what the dashed ellipses mean, and then the full ellipses, the solid ellipses. Tells you how to mark those ellipses, identifying difficult cases, marking the optical counterpart, which is the pink is how you mark the optical counterpart. Marking the dashed ellipses is the blue icon. And identifying when something's wrong. So for that missing image, select this when part of or the entire optical image is missing, thus preventing you from finding a host. Or blend, select this if you believe that one of the blue ellipses, solid or dashed, contains two or more unique radio sources, yellow contour lines. And it also provides you with examples. And then once you start on the project, again, you can mark optical counterpoints. Gonna mark the so that marking the dashed ellipses, marking the optical counterpoint, identifying if there's any mistakes, finishing, and then you can just keep going through it. You can also change the view to help you identify different parts as well. So that's Radio Galaxy Zoo LOFAR. Now let's explore some of their other projects that could be used as OER related activities. Bash the Bug is a Zooniverse project that could be used in a biology classroom. Bash the Bug allows students the opportunity to help identify which antibiotics are effective against tuberculosis. Like with other Zooniverse projects, Bash the Bug contains step-by-step instructions for students to follow along. The Bash the Bug is one of their completed projects, and they actually have a paper that you can read that's in the supplemental content in Blackboard for this video, and it's written, and the project was led by a group of scientists at the University of Oxford. So for Bash the Bug, even though it's a completed project, they're still letting people like practice as part of the project. And some of the projects, even though it's completed now, that doesn't mean in the future that they won't open it back up to get more data. So this project is 100% completed. Again, it has the number of volunteers, classifications done in subjects, and then completed subjects, as well as the description of the project. To get started, again, they have that tutorial, tells you what you're looking at, how you can make the image bigger, what you're going to need to do. Basically, you're identifying if there's any bacterial growth in a no antibiotic well or one of the wells with antibiotics in it. Inconsistent growth, no growth at all. So just telling you what you need to do. And then you would look at the photo and determine, please choose one of the following options, starting at the top and working your way down. If the growth stops, please choose the number corresponding to the first well in which there are no bacteria. So you just answer the question, click done, and then just you would get more photos. So it's a pretty simple process. Exit out of these tabs. So let's move on to another tool. Agents of Enslavement is another project on Zooniverse that can be used as an activity for a history course. This tool tries to explore the ways colonial newspapers in the Caribbean help to facilitate and challenge the practice of slavery. Students can help create data sets of advertisements and notices related to slavery, which are meant to help analyze trends and create a database of enslaved people at the time. Students are presented with a full-page image of a newspaper, and it's their task to identify and draw rectangles around different types of advertisements or notices. It also will ask various different questions, identifying different parts of the advertisements or notices. Like with other Zooniverse projects, Agents of Enslavement has a tutorial to help guide students through the process. There is a content warning for this project. This project contains terms which are now considered discriminatory, harmful, or offensive. The content also contains graphic descriptions of how enslaved people were mistreated. You may therefore find some of the material upsetting. So that's just something to note. If this is a project that you're interested in, letting students know that that's a part of the project. So again, this project is 15% completed. The number of volunteers, classifications, subjects, and then completed subjects. The description of the project. You go to get started. You have the tutorial. Provides that content warning again. A summary of the task. Verify advert classification, and there's a video showing you what to do. Walking through how to answer the multiple choice questions, the transcription questions, the help pages. So some question for all the questions, there's an option to get help to like show you what specifically you should be looking for. So I would answer yes or no if this advertisement has one person for sale for rent or hire, at least one person. I would put in the date, title. If I need help, it provides photos telling me like what the title would look like, where the date would be. Then there's even more questions. Name of the person or company posting the advert, workplace of the person posting the advert. So you just go through these questions. So that is Agents of Enslavement. Let's move on from OER Commons / Zooniverse to Knightlab. An activity from Knightlab, the Southern Literature Trail, could be used for a literature or English class. This tool, the story map, takes students through a story map of Southern writers from Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi. Students can click through to explore the homes and landmarks that shaped and inspired some of the South's most famous authors. Students can also create their own story maps for a class assignment or activity on a particular author or authors from another region or country, or on a different topic entirely. So for the story map, you can either click through or you could select a specific tag on the map. So this one took me from Oxford, Mississippi, William Faulkner. To go back to the beginning, you just click back to the beginning. And then you can just go through. So Savannah, Georgia, Flannery O'Connor. If you look at the map on the side, you can see that it's moving as you go through the story map. So these are also Atlanta, Georgia, Margaret Mitchell. So this is all still in Georgia. Now we're in Alabama, Tuskegee, Alabama with Albert Murray. So this is taking you across those states. So story map, if you go to Knightlab, they have an example of a story map, and this is just a different way to set it up. You can add photos, tweets, videos from YouTube. So the map left an example of the URL to an image hosted on the website or on the web is an example of a tweet. So this shows you just like the different kind of content that you can include in a story map. You have some tips and tricks, some examples of some story maps. You can create a story map. Just go to make a story map. If you're not logged in, it'll prompt you to create an account. I have a map that I've created. So this is what my map looks like. If you go up to options, you can change the map. So now it looks like this. So you have that option. You can do a custom map. You can change the width and height. So you have a bunch of different options. You can add a title and a description. You can add so this is the title slide that it's on. I could add a photo to it, add credit and a caption. I can do the background. I can add a photo for that. So the photo that I added was this map. And then this is what the map looks like on the side. To add a slide, you just click add slide. To select a location, you just type in the location. So I've already done Little Rock, Arkansas. I can do the title and the description. I've added a photo to that slide. Again, you can add credit and a caption to it. I did one for Hot Springs, for Fayetteville. So I can go up to preview. So we have Hot Springs, and this is what it looks like. And it goes, or no, we have Little Rock, then Hot Springs, then Fayetteville, and I could add more pictures. I could add a description and a caption, like I mentioned. So you have a bunch of different options to choose from. You can change what your marker looks like. So this is what the marker looks like right now. You can make it a photo and choose a file that way. So that's story map. Lastly, let's look at the Nightline's timeline tool. So let me go. The Too Young to Vote, Old Enough to Make a Difference, Groundbreaking Youth-Led Movements timeline can be used as an activity in a history political science course. The timeline highlights different youth-led movements, including the March of the Mill Children, the Little Rock Nine, the Children's Crusade, Black Lives Matter, and more. Students can click through and learn more about these movements. As part of the activity, students can make their own timeline, adding more information about a particular movement and tracking its development over time or on a different topic entirely. So this is what the timeline looks like. United date, 1903, title, March of the Mill Children, and a description. You could add a caption or credit to a photo. You need to make sure that the links are correct for the photos. This is just what the timeline looks like. If you go to Knightlab, they have an example of another timeline and the kind of stuff you can add to it. So women in computing. This slide demonstrates a simple image media type, so just a photo. Timeline can easily embed Google Maps. And you can add a YouTube URL. This is a quote page or quote slide. You can embed articles from online. You can have it in SoundCloud clips. So we have a bunch of different options. What you can do, there's a video explaining how to use the timeline tool. You have some more examples. So one thing about the timeline, unlike with story map that you can do right in Knightlab, for the timeline, if you click make a timeline, it's going to take you down some instructions. You have to start with a Google spreadsheet and then upload that into the timeline to actually like edit it. But you do have embed options when you're done. Same thing with story map. So you can like put these into Blackboard. So these are just some examples of the many types of activities that can be found through open educational resources. It can take time and patience, as well as practice, to find the right types of activities for your courses. But remember, the library is here to help. We would be happy to talk with you about implementing more OER or open access activities into your courses. Check out the video coming November 17th. Resources for faculty and student success, outlining support and training for OER content. For more information, or you can reach out to me at hfhurdle@ualr.edu.